Paisan, I'm Danny Sess. This is Sess Says Max Effort. We got another new member recently joined into the IG group, Tony Marietti. Tony, I'm really happy to have you on here today because I felt like we got to know everybody in the group, but you're a new guy. You're having really good results, and I think it's a good time to introduce you formally to everybody in here. So
yeah,
if you don't mind, go through who you are, where you're from, a lunch streak if you have one, and maybe, what you do for work. I think that's a good start here.
sure. Yeah, sounds good. Appreciate you having me on. Get the chance to introduce myself to everybody. I'm from Michigan originally. Lived in Michigan for the first 36 years of my life. In January, my wife and I packed up, moved us two and our three kids 2,000 miles to Phoenix, Arizona, which is where I'm at now. Which is when I got involved with the I Want Abs contest. I was fortunate enough that I'm working remotely. My wife also now works remotely, so we didn't have to change jobs and that kind of stuff, but still looking for a permanent housing situation and all that kind of stuff in Phoenix here. For work, I work for a large software company. I'm a senior field sales executive. So I just sell tax, finance, and accounting software. Pretty boring stuff, but my lunch streak currently, I'm on day 58 of lunging overall, and I'm on day 32, I think, of 45 minutes of lunges.
Yeah, 45 minutes of lunges. I was hoping you were going to bring that up. So that is a much longer time than I feel like anybody else in the group is doing. 45 minutes every single day.
Yeah, it's a
How
lot.
Did you get into that?
So I think I just saw a thing like I forget if it was a post on Instagram or maybe a longer video. I was watching a G and he was talking about he did 45 minutes a day for a really long period of time. And no offense to G, but I was like, if this guy can do it, I can do it. It's just you just put one foot after the other. I think some of that comes from having a background in CrossFit because I did that for a period of time as well, and it was just a lot of like wall balls are a big move in CrossFit, and burpees are a big move. And like I just developed this mentality of like I can just do one fucking more of those before I quit, and then I can do one more, and then I can do one more. And I think that's been my same mentality on lunges.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I always find it pretty fascinating that someone can lunge. There's guys out there over 1,000 days in a row, but it takes them like 17 minutes. I think to wake up every single day and be like, oh, I have to lunge for 3 times that amount every day is like, that's crazy stuff.
It honestly, it's gotten pretty easy. It's gotten to the point now where like it's just what I do in the morning. Like it's just I don't think about it anymore. I've beaten it into myself, and it's just like, yeah, we're just gonna get up, go down to the garage, and we're gonna do our lunges, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I think some of the guys hearing you say that right now is a good time because like we're kind of towards the end of the contest. You're kind of looking for a little extra motivation, and now I'm thinking like these guys must be thinking, man, Tony can do 45 minutes. I can do 20 minutes today. I can get the motivation and push myself that much further. It's only a couple more days till this contest. So I think that's awesome motivation to the rest of the group.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like I said, you're just putting one foot in front of the other. It started with like I have this thing that I'll do at nighttime sometimes where when I lay down, I'll like think about all the excuses and all the BS that I'm gonna give myself the next morning. And I stole this actually from Goggins. So I'll say, oh, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing it. No, this is just what we do now.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, that's it. It's just what we do now. And
yeah, you're your own
all the BS. Yeah. Every BS I've ever gave myself, I'll play through my mind. And now, like, it's second nature. I don't have to do that anymore. I use that technique on other stuff.
Yeah, when you say 45 minutes, you're just like going through the neighborhood or because I would have assumed you would have said something about that track if you were.
Yeah, no, so it's literally just in a garage. So I have it's a tandem garage, so it's 2 cars deep, and I just go wall to wall, back and forth. I'll do it in place sometimes. I'll do it on a box sometimes, but it's just set the timer, turn on a podcast, and go.
Sick. What? And then you're lifting also on top of this.
Yeah, so I do pump 36 days a week on top of that. And I don't always do the ones that come out that day. I kind of programmed it. So like I do chest and back, then I do one of the arms workouts, then I do the leg workout, and I'll rotate shoulders between putting it on the arm day and putting it on the leg day, and just repeat that Monday through Saturday
Oh, Tony, you're a beast.
every week. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I love it. I haven't lunged yet today, so I think I needed to hear something like this. Like, oh, I only have to lunge for 22 minutes. Like, well, at least I don't have to do 45.
Yeah. 22 is a piece of cake.
Yeah. How are you eating? What plan are you following?
So I'm doing I don't even fully know the levels of it. I'm doing anabolic fasting. I could kind of walk you through what I've done honestly throughout the entire contest and how I kind of layered it back. I started just real general. So like a lunch at the start for me was like maybe half to 3/4 of a pound of ground beef. And then I was doing a lot of broccoli and sweet potatoes. I'd repeat that for dinner. I'd have a few handfuls of almonds kind of in between that range. And then at night to start for probably the first 2 weeks was real not strict. It was like, I was coming from a spot where I was in really bad shape. So I was like, I don't need to go like super dialed. So like the start would have been a lot of things that you probably would have considered a cheat spike, or Ninja Creamy recipes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of weeks, I was like, all right, it's time to scale it back a little bit more. And I went more so to the banana and peanut butter every single night, maybe a blended protein shake with some fruit in that would have been sort of my PM go-to. And I kept the lunches the same. And then sort of into phase 3, I cut out the sweet potatoes. And so now it's like I'll do a lot of riced cauliflower, broccoli, or mixed green vegetables. And then the meat portion has kind of stayed consistent. Going through some phases where I go to more chicken to get it a little bit leaner and lean things out that way. And then if I feel like I need more fats, maybe I'll throw some avocado in that, or maybe I'll go back to beef for a couple of days. And do
I was going to ask about a fat source, because it seems like you're saying a lot of vegetables, you're saying a lot of meat, but it just was wondering if you have almonds or avocados, what you're doing.
So almond, avocado, and macadamia nuts have been my 3 main sources on the fats.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that. Now I understand where you're at, where you went from AF 102 to AF 101. Are you going to do like a peak week type of deal, or how do you feel heading into the end here?
Yeah, so I'm going to do it just for the experience of it and see how it goes. There's a big prize at the end of this, right? The Benz is a big prize. You don't get to win a big prize if you don't submit yourself to some torture. And I think peak week, I'm not really looking forward to. I'm going to probably drop carbs pretty much completely out for a few days. I've toyed with the idea of doing a big fast at the end. I've done 72-hour fasts before and stuff like that. I'm like, maybe I should do that and then get some carbs the day before and kind of build things up that way. So just kind of, I'm still planning it out a little bit and seeing how it goes, but there is a peak week coming. I'm 9 days out right now, so I got 2 more days to plan it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think you said it well. Like, to get a big reward, you need to go through some pain here. And I think, peak weeks I've done in the past have really just been like nuts and meat. And then I do like the greens powder, like really even cut out like the veggies part of it. But
which has been a good part of joining this group, because that greens powder, I started hearing that the last few days and I knew nothing about it, hadn't considered it. I was just going to go literally just the chicken and a few handfuls of nuts. And that was going to be what I did for 3-4 days.
What's up, Max? I see you joined.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm happy you're on here, man. Welcome to the group. We were just kind of going through Tony, a little bit of introduction, and maybe we could do the same with you. So just who you are, where you're from, and kind of how'd you get involved in the Instagram group here?
Yeah, so I'm 31. I live in Monroe, Ohio. Been part of the MaxEffort group for since he was doing the old sacks. I don't remember what year that was, but when he'd send the stacks to your door in the sack.
Oh yeah, okay.
I've been following Corey for a while, since his muscle farm days. And then I was talking to a couple of people in the group, I think Jonathan and Brian, and I seen like you guys had something. There's about 15, 20 people. I was like, I need to be a part of this. And
for sure. It's a good group. And that was kind of going to be my next question with Tony. was what was your impression of the group so far? I think Max, you might have only joined into the Instagram group today.
Yeah.
But either one of you can run with this. What's your impression of this group? Because I've been in it for a couple of months now, and I have my own thoughts.
Yeah, I enjoy it. There's not too many people that kind of enjoy the stuff that we do. You go to the gym and people look at you like you got a third eye because you're out there doing lunges for half an hour, and it's nice to be able to bounce ideas off of each other and just have a constant communication.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's been good. I think there's definitely been some really good information that's come out of the group, some things that I hadn't considered, some things that, I've considered, then I see somebody else is doing it, and I'm like, I got to go do this. Another big thing for me is moving from Michigan to Phoenix. I still have all my friends, but all my friends now are group chats on a phone.
Yeah.
And I think one of the best things, one of the things that guys enjoy the most is just having a group where kind of shooting the breeze, talking shit, locker room talk. And there's a lot of that in the group as well. So the social aspect of it has been cool too.
Yeah, for sure. I think you can find a lot of motivation. You can find a lot of help, and the same type of thing. If you need a laugh too, Darren or somebody's always posting like some funny stuff. So I love the group. I think it's really motivated me, and especially on the days I don't want to go to the gym or don't want to lift, it's like, hey, these guys have already finished their workout, and it's only 5 a.m. I got to get my ass there.
So are you an afternoon workout guy, Seth?
No, I wake up at like 4 a.m, but there's guys like Drew or Eric that they wake up at 2 a.m. So they're done. Yeah. And it's like, all right, like let's look through Instagram for a minute here. And there's some of the guys that I felt like used to lift like early morning, or now like early guys like Darren, I just mentioned. Brian's been killing it in the morning. Like, it's nice to see. And Dalton obviously is getting everybody fired up at 3 a.m. So that type of fire that burns, and now the motivation is gone, but the discipline is there. And I love this group for that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
That's go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Max, what program you're following or what diet you're following just as a new member. I don't know if a lot of people know that much about you. That's why I think it's good to share.
Yeah, so I've been, in the distant of doing the anabolic fasting, and I would do it sometimes. I wouldn't consistently do it, or I didn't consistently lunge. About last year, I got on the scale. I was 227. I was like, this ain't it. I feel like shit. I've just been routinely getting in every day, doing the pump 30, 6 to 7 days a week for a little over the last year. And I dialed in the nutrition probably last April, pretty hardcore. I got down to 185 or so.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you. And I've just been putting better food in my body, doing consistent lunges. Right now I'm on 101. For the most of the contests, I've been on 101.5. I'm on day 56. So I'm trying to cut out the sweet potato for a couple of weeks, see how that does. And I'm interested in seeing how people do the peak week. I've never done one before, so.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of us have liked lifting weights, but never did like a bodybuilding show or something. So peak week is new to everybody,
Yeah.
And you only do it like once a year. So, I've done 2 peak weeks in my life. I don't have much advice for you, what really worked or whatever, but that's why it's nice to hear everybody's take on it and what works best. Or, G talks a lot about it. He's done a lot of shows. So, we always trust G, we follow his plan. That's always seemed to be what works for our own diet, our own lifting strategies. So that's a great place to start. So what was the video you watched of Dalton and Danny today?
I was he was just sitting down with them. It was like a one-on-one thing after he won the contest a couple years ago.
And then fired you up.
Yeah, I watched I think as Travis's videos, just seeing like what the winners have done and like what it took for them to win. Like, people are out there every morning, like you said. Like
Yeah.
you gotta get a step ahead. You gotta do more if you really want to, take it to the next level, which I think a lot of you guys are doing. Is awesome.
For sure. Tony, anything that you're going to, besides the diet, anything you're going to change heading into the last 9 days of your contest here?
So the only other thing I've changed is I'm doing about 1.5 gallons of water a day right now, which I'll then obviously cut out. I'll scale back the lunges a little bit. Just for a period of time, I'm okay with dropping that 45-minute streak. I'm going to go back up to 45 minutes because I think I do want to probably lean out a little bit more still after the contest, and then I'm going to worry about getting some strength back. Yeah, dropping the carbs way down, up in the water, and then I'll probably add some of the dandelion root.
Yeah.
And then day before, I'll probably start adding some carbs back in, and then even more day of, just those fast digesting. Try to pull that last little bit of water from the skin to the muscles and see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm real tempted. I've said this for a long time. I think there's some stuff Arnold has said about this. I always look my best after a good night of drinking, and I'm real tempted to just go do that the night before pictures because I know it works. But I'm like, I'm going to try it this way and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. As we're approaching all this stuff, it's funny. Like everybody has a different strategy. There's a YouTube video where G goes out and he eats like a hamburger and French fries the night before his show, just because he says in typical G fashion, he's like, I wanted to see what happens. He's doing it live. But I think an important thing you said there is like doing less here at the end, because this group is like so focused on pushing harder, going further, going longer, doing more weights. And it's like the opposite thought process here, because I think doing a little less at the end will like fill you out a little bit, like get the blood flowing back. Brian is saying he's having really good results, like doing a little less here at the end. So I think that's a great strategy, but sometimes mentally it's hard to just wrap your head around that.
That is going to be tough.
Yeah, Max. Yeah. So you're saying you have a nice long lung streak going. You're fired up. You're doing your 30 minutes of lunges every day. It's hard.
Yeah. I'm on day 133 today. Of at least 800. Then I've done 1,000 meters for like 47, I think. And then lately I kicked it up to 3/4 of a mile minimum. And I think I'm on like day 7 of that. So it sounds like I'll need to scale back a little bit towards the end of the contest, but got to do what you got to do, I guess.
For sure. Yeah, this is the toughest part mentally. The physical stuff becomes like easy or routine because like we love this stuff, but the eating a little less or dialing in your nutrition here at the end, that's kind of the tough part, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can keep this one kind of short. I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to talk to, ask the group. If you pose a question here, I think the group does a really good job of answering and starting a conversation. As a new member, is there anything that you're curious about, you want to ask? Maybe after contest, mafia events? Feel free.
I kind of looked through the brief history of the Instagram group there and just got a little bit of idea of what everyone talks about, and like it's good that men of like our age have this connection like with complete strangers almost, that we feel comfortable to just share the same things and bounce ideas off and talk shit. And
yeah, I think you said that's a good point. People in the gym think we're crazy, but people in this group, we find it very normal, like doing lunges for half an hour and, waking up at 2 a.m. just to go lift to get home for your kids, like these are things that I find very normal, but people think I'm insane.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing too, for waking up in the morning, is you're able to get back home to your kids and not take any time away from your family. So I think that's
definitely
super important.
Yeah, the mornings have been huge, and I actually talked to G a little bit about this the other day. people think it's weird, but like the amount of guys that I see that are middle 30s to into their 40s that literally look like they're just waiting to die is insane to me. It's like, we're still young. Like, there's no reason to not be in shape. There's no reason to not still have goals. Your kids are watching that stuff, and kids are getting smarter and smarter. I also coached high school football up until we moved. Kids are getting smarter and smarter. Like, I felt like if I wasn't on my discipline there, they'd see right through that and be like, who the hell is this guy to tell us that we should be going to the weight room? We should be worrying about our nutrition. And the same will be true for my kids as they start to get older, and I want them to lead a life that is actually worth living. I want them to be healthy and have good discipline and be able to pursue things that they enjoy pursuing and have success in it. And I just think that that's largely dead for men our age.
Yeah, I think that's a very powerful message, Tony. I'm happy you said that. My closing remarks are to both of you, and to rely on this group. When you need that motivation, you need a tip or something, this group is so helpful. And I talk to these guys on the side. They're like good friends of mine. I talk to them more than a lot of people in my life, but I also feel like the most confident and the most driven. And I think a big part of it is from this group. So rely on this group, ask them questions, and you'll just continue to develop and become a better man. I think I'm going to end it here. I think this is a good session here on a Sunday. I'm Danny Sess, and that's what we're saying.